Good morning. It's match day. It's Conference League final in Wrocław. It's Chelsea against Real Betis. By way of introducing you to Betis, and I'm not going to concentrate on Chelsea because I haven't looked at too much of Maresca's team this season, but I have been down to Betis to interview players and the coach, and therefore let's focus on Real Betis a little bit and start with the man who, and this is a non-pejorative description, has always reminded me of an Easter Island statue. Gaunt, granite chin, hard face. Manuel Pellegrini doesn't smile a lot, but what he does, and has always done, is turn out teams that want the ball and then process it quickly. Teams that like to catch you with your pants down, teams that play wide, whether it's penetrating runs on the break or whether it's getting the ball to the wide players and asking them to take on the fullbacks, two things that I absolutely adore. Across his career, and I very well remember him coming to Villarreal. I was at the last press conference of the previous coach when it was announced that this Chilean man would be taking over. And what fun we had while I was correspondent for Villarreal down there in a couple of years before I moved on to other European clubs. What an extraordinary time with Riquelme at his very best, playing absolutely beautifully. Serene, the little madman at full back, and a Villarreal side which, against all the odds, because budget doesn't win you everything, went to the semi-finals of the Champions League. From that day until this, because I haven't studied any of his coaching CV in Mexico or in Chile or in Argentina, but Pellegrini believes in front foot, aggressive, entertaining football, and that's what you get with Betis. And he's a guy who recycles. If you think about, for example, the way in which Riquelme was rejected by Barcelona, or at least Louis van Gaal said to Riquelme's face, "I don't want you, I didn't sign you, I don't need you, and I'm just going to tell you straight." Riquelme went straight down the road on the Mediterranean coast to Villarreal and absolutely starred. It was a gorgeous era of La Liga. He played some of his best football, although Boca Juniors fans will argue that the best was reserved for the club he loves the most. And it's true of many of the clubs where Pellegrini is, that guys who maybe previously have been undervalued, or where somebody's tapped them on the shoulder and said, "Nah, it's not your moment," or where Pellegrini and his DT, his director technical, have seen talent more quickly, that's when players tend to shine. Joaquin has had a long career, but he very rarely played better than under Manuel Pellegrini, both at Betis and at Malaga. It was at Malaga that Isco really exploded, having been taken from the Valencia reserves, more or less. And that Malaga run was, again, beautiful football, 4-2-3-1 formation. Only some bad refereeing by Scottish officials robbed them of progressing further in the Champions League on a night when they had Dortmund eliminated. So the Betis that you're going to see on Wednesday night tonight needs to be understood through the frame of Pellegrini's ideas and his resurrection of Isco. Isco wasn't a finished footballer, but when he found himself at Sevilla, his era having ended at Real Madrid, and him looking a couple of kilos over for a small man, not working very hard because he's all fun and filigree, he and Monchi, the director of football at the time at Sevilla, now at Aston Villa, by everybody's acknowledgement, found themselves with hands around each other's throats, ready to do serious damage. In a situation like that, the player will always lose, the technical director will always win, and Isco was out by common consent, contract rescinded, and he was on the dole effectively. He was not wanted by clubs for some 6 months. A winter transfer market came and went and nobody knocked on his door. So the wee man from Fuengirola went and got himself a personal trainer and put himself in physical shape that he's not been in since maybe his very first days at Real Madrid or those days at Malaga. Since he joined Betis at the beginning of last season, he's been fucking epic. People queue up on La Liga television to phone in their votes to give him man of the match, sometimes when he's not even played. He chases back, he harasses, He starts in the 10 position in the 3 behind the striker and often ends up playing everything from pivote. We've seen him when we've scanned his performance, sometimes have 66, 70 touches in the first half alone. But what happens generally is magic. Back heels, flicks, simple passes, clever passes, powerful goals, more running than I can remember ever from Isco. So when Anthony arrived, another resurrection job, game, recognised game. They went, I know you, I like you, let's fucking play. Anthony, Benny McCarthy, who coached him at Manchester United, told me, look out. He used to nutmeg people in training. I loved him in training. I don't know why the coach didn't trust him. I loved it if somebody gave him one in training, you better be ready for him to give you it right back. And Benny said he listens, he learns, and he works. So why was it that he didn't get a show at Manchester United? I don't know. 4 times he played Chelsea at Manchester United, only 1 win and 1 assist, no goals. He's absolutely destined to score in Wrocław against Chelsea, no matter whoever wins, whatever the result is. Anthony is unstoppable right now. He feels as if he bestrides the world like a colossus, and fuck me, does he hit the ball off his left foot. Passes, free kicks, assists, and golazos you can count on. The other guy I'd like to look forward to seeing is Jesus Rodriguez, a 19-year-old Seville-born academy player who's a Rolls-Royce winger. Not a jinky, shoulders down, show the fullback this way and that. Somebody who floats on oil and beautiful wheels across a pitch. It's like his feet don't touch the ground. His balance is absolutely fantastic. As an athlete, he's elegant, but as a chooser of options on the ball, he's clever. He's going to become a gigantic footballer. This is his breakthrough season and his biggest ever test. But if he has his day, everybody will be enchanted. 11 goals in 14 matches is what Betis have conceded in the Conference League, and that doesn't sound all that bad. But the back four is either going to be Adrian or Vietes in goal, neither much cop. Central defenders Bartra and probably Nathan, the Brazilian. At left back, either Rodriguez, not Jesus Rodriguez, or Perrault, the Frenchman. And at right back, maybe Sabali, possibly Ruibal. As a back five, keeper included, danger UXB. Anything can happen. They are not a tight unit at the back. Pellegrini's a good tactician. His team play well. In the middle, it's probably Johnny Cardoso. Very, very impressive. Soon to be at Spurs. Maybe with Fornals, ex-West Ham and Villarreal next to him in a 4-2-3-1. This should be a game where there are lots of goals, because Chelsea have the capacity to punish that Betis back five. Neither of Betis' keepers are particularly impressive, but they play, they entertain, they attack. They've been glorious fun while finishing fifth. And although Pellegrini is not everybody's taste, when Borja Iglesias, his striker last season, the Panda, came out in support of the women footballers in Spain and how badly they were treated, and said, I'm not going to play for Spain until the women footballers are treated better, Pellegrini condemned them and said, you never refuse the call from your country. And in an interview where he explained reasonably well what he was trying to get across, Pellegrini applauded the military coup of 1973 in his home nation, Chile, saying that a democratically elected communist government had left the country in ruins and, quote, although there are unjustifiable things that a military dictatorship do, the country needed it. That was the Salvador Allende time. Many, many, many political opponents were tortured and disappeared. I don't think Pellegrini was in any way supporting Allende as such, but it brought him a lot of opprobrium, and I disapprove both of how he treated Borja and how he talked about Salvador Allende. Did I stray off football there a little bit? Hey, I'm sorry. That's what you knew you get with me occasionally. Opinions, goddammit. This should be a good final. Wrocław is a beautiful city. Betis fans will be there in thousands and thousands of green and white shirts tonight. No harm, Chelsea. Sorry, Enzo. I do hope that it's mucho Betis. Chelsea have got the power to win this. Betis are underdogs, but this is the year of the underdogs. Crystal Palace, Newcastle, Union Saint-Gilloise, Bologna, the mighty dandies. Betis next in the queue. To find out, stay tuned.